All right, so this video right here, we're talking about finding the right buyer, kind of understanding how to figure out what are the things that really matter in a buyer. So there's different types of buyers, number one. So in this industry, if your company's below the 1 million, near the half million mark, um, sometimes, they're very rarely are you going to find an individual such as someone who's not been in the industry that's like, oh yeah, I want to go ahead and start a company and I'm going to buy your company. um that's really scary to them. um the number one source that you're going to find is someone who's going to acquire your company and put it into theirs to help their company be better. And then another thing that could happen is that you could have an investor hop in. So let's say, for example, with you, if you were like, well, sell 50% of my company or 65%, you know, you would you could still retain part of your job. You would still get a salary, uh, just from the company as before, could be an option with it. Um, and the investor then would just be ensuring that the metrics are being met each month to help achieve the goal of paying off the company. With the company, no matter what, when it's selling, someone's going to be looking at, if I take a loan on that at the current existing interest rate, will it be able to service its mortgage, get itself paid off in 3 years or less based upon the interest rate and the amount that they're acquiring it for. So, for example, if your company has $500,000 a year revenue, it's got a 20% profit margin, meaning each year, $100,000 a year is profit. And that's after all expenses of everything, even if they had to pay someone to do what you're doing, then, you know, you could say, oh, well, they're going to have to say, how much would it cost to service that loan, to get it paid down in 3 years? Um, and, again, the more that your thing is profitable, the better that it is, the better that it's going to happen. Another thing that's likely to happen is there's what's the clawback clause, meaning the buyer buys your company. And if you didn't prepare your clients, you didn't prepare your technicians, you didn't prepare your staff to be great and to transition smoothly, then if half of your client base leaves, then the buyer is going to say, hey, half of the clients left, and that affects the value by, it might even affect it by more than half because, you know, the cost of operation can go up. And so that's going to affect your value of your business. The more that you can help things be smooth and amazing, in the long term, that's going to help you retain a much better valuation. So again, your buyers, it could be individuals, could be other businesses, and or could be investors. So what are the qualities of a good buyer? So something that you want to look for is someone who's financially capable. Um, you know, not just on the outside doesn't look like it, but you could, as part of the disclosure, non-disclosure agreements, someone said, hey, yeah, I think I'm interested in your company. You could say, okay, well, I want to see your financials too to make sure that you can do it. Something that's always going to be great is someone with the industry experience. Can they actually manage the company if, for example, all of your staff decided to leave? Could they hire at a rapid enough rate for that to happen? Does the vision alignment work? Um, so one company, their vision alignment might be, well, we just get the job done at the cheapest rate possible. And another one is, a super luxury brand. So, for example, um, if someone's buying a used automotive place and they're used to selling brand new Lexuses, it might not be the correct match. And then also the reliability in a buyer. So, has this buyer recently gone bankrupt? Does it look like they're going to go bankrupt? What you want to do is you want to have these questions just in the back of your head, create a checklist ahead of time so that way you can tell. And then the screening process. I do encourage you to conduct interviews with them, ask for financial statements, and check references. So, again, in the local community that they already exist at, how many people are like, have really strong faith in them that they deliver on what they say? You want a buyer that's going to deliver for you. and then you're going to negotiate with potential buyers. Um, be flexible to different offers. There's different styles of arrangement. One is to where the buyer comes in, gives you a lump sum. That's probably going to be the lowest dollar thing. And then if it's a 3-year payout, that's probably going to be the highest dollar figure that you'll get. Um, Maybe something in the middle. 1 year's, based upon profits of each month, the number of uh, teammates and the number of clients that stick might actually be something that it is. So, for example, if your company has a 20% profit margin and, the potential buyer looks at it and says, okay, yeah, I ran my numbers, you're paying in the proper thing that what they would have to pay to get someone, other cleaning technician pros to go in there, do it at the same thing with no drama. you know, if it was the same exact and the 20% was the true thing on that, they might actually say, hey, you know what? For the next year, we'll do that. Because also we looked at it and you have a 5% churn of clients each month, which means that in a year, only 40% of your current clients would be the likely stuck around. Something like that is a common thing to happen. There's a little bit of client turnover in a company. So again, I'm going to cover the different things, negotiating, with potential buyers. Something you're going to do, you're going to screen the buyer, you're going to look for qualities in a good buyer, and you're going to know what type of buyers that there are. So for example, buyer types, again, individuals, businesses, or investors. Qualities, do they have industry experience, the financial capability, and vision alignment? you know, Look at their financial statements, ask around in the local community how they really do perform. And there will be the negotiation, be willing to open up about different options. And you got to present real numbers. That really helps someone, because if there's not a place to start, then, you know, uh, the buyer might just lowball you. So these are key things that will really help you in finding and isolating what is the right buyer. Next up, what we got going on is talking about negotiating the sale and how some of those things have gone. And I'm going to show you some real world experience of how it's worked for me.